Hey guys, it's Gav, and today I'm going to reveal to you number 2 of the top mistakes made by email marketers. And today I'm going to reveal to you number 2, and this is a doozy for me. This is something that I actually go over with a lot of clients, and it's a big misconception. So a lot of people, a lot of email marketers tend to gauge their success by return on investments. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. However, the problem with return on investment is that it doesn't leave you much room to actually see where you can improve. So you can't clearly see where your areas of improvement are. So what I like to actually do is I like to drill down a little bit more in terms of the actual email metrics so that I can actually show clients where just making even small improvements can yield huge revenue potentials. So let's actually just take a look at this. So I created a simple spreadsheet for you guys. Now, if you guys want this, just email me and I'll send this to you. And it's very, very simple, but at least it gives you a clear direction in terms of how to actually increase revenue. Because a lot of the problems come into play when people have no clarity in terms of how to actually increase it, right? So a lot of email marketers are going to think, okay, the only way I can increase revenue is if I basically dump more data, right? So if I'm sending 100,000 emails this month and I'm making X amount, then I have to send 200,000 in order to make that same amount. Now, I wouldn't exactly say that's wrong in thinking. That is definitely not the best way to do it, because remember, it's also costing you a lot more money and in terms of acquisition, in terms of mailing costs. And the whole point here is to really email the smart way and email the right way, okay? So I'm going to basically show you how to do that with a lot more clarity. And this spreadsheet actually does that for you. So here's just an example. So what you actually want to do here is, so first let me just explain the spreadsheet. So here what we actually have is your delivered. So this is actually going to be the number of emails delivered, not sent. Here's going to be all the revenue you generated. And here you can do it on a weekly basis, monthly basis. This here is just the monthly total, so that we're keeping it simple. So here we can see the monthly revenue was 186,000. We can see the number of opens. And here we can see the percentage. We can see the number of clicks. We can see the click-through rate as well. We can also see the unique clicks and the unique click-through rate and the EPCs and the revenue per opens. So here you can actually tell now that the variables that you're going to change, because there are certain formulas set already in this spreadsheet, the formulas you're going to change are the ones in this peaches color here. I'm not exactly sure what color it is, but these are what you're going to replace with your own values. So here you're going to say the emails delivered, you're going to put the revenue that you generated, you're going to put the number of opens, and you're going to follow along, right? Now your earnings per click, this is calculated for you directly based on the revenue generated. So you should hopefully have the monthly revenue generated. And same thing with the opens as well. So the formulas are in there. This here is a double check just to make sure my formulas are good. And basically here now what's going to happen is that you have 2 other rows. You have this row, which is projected revenue by increasing opens. And then you have projected revenue just by increasing click-through rates. So let's just say these were your numbers for the month, right? So you sent out 11 million, we generated 186,000 in revenue, opens was 11%. So now let's just say I didn't change anything about the ad copy, didn't change anything. The only thing I changed was, let's just focus on increasing opens. Now, of course, we all know that to increase opens, there's definitely different strategies that we can do. But let's just say here, if we were at an 11% open rate, let's just say we wanted to increase that just by 10%, right? So an increase, and here you can also change the numbers as well. So in this case, I just want to increase the opens by 10%. Here I can say 15. If I increased just the open rates just by 15%, it would give me an additional 190,000 opens, which gives me a total projected open rate of 12.75. So originally it was 11.09 and would go to 12.75. The projected revenue just on increasing open rates would have been $27,000. So again, this now is a much more clear objective, okay? Now you know which direction you're going. So even if you don't work on increasing or at least trying to acquire more data, you can work just on what you already have. And working with what you already have is going to yield you close to $28,000 in additional revenue. So now let's go to the next one where we're just reviewing click-through rates. So when we're reviewing click-through rates, you're keeping the subject line the same. You can keep maybe the templates the same, but the ad copy and maybe the calls to action might be a little bit different. So now let's just say we're keeping everything steady, and we're just going to increase again the click-through rates. So in this case, the click-through rate was 7.62. So now let's just say I want to increase that click-through rate by, let's just say in this case I said 30%. Let's bring it down to, well, let's just say 20%. So 20% here is going to give me a new projected clicks of close to 170,000, and the projected click-through rate now would be 9.15 versus the 7.62. And you can see here the projected revenue was $37,000. So again, this gives you it gives you a much more clear direction as to where you should be going, so that when you're mapping out your game plan, remember, it's not about just throwing a bunch of emails to the wall and see what sticks, or just trying to increase volume, because that is not the smart way to do it. The smarter way is really having a plan of attack, and in this case, you can increase your opens and increase your click-through rates. And you can see here, just by implementing these two small changes, how much additional revenue you could have made. And you can see here, close to $65,000 could have been made on top of the $186,000. So again, this is just to show you that you should not be looking at return on investment. That's just one metric that can be extremely difficult to break down if you don't actually know where your money is coming from and how you can actually scale it the proper way. So hopefully you guys found this interesting and helpful. If you have any questions or concerns, just let me know. Email me at Gabriella@emailmaverick.com. Thanks so much, guys.